Chris, thanks for sitting down with us to talk. It's been a couple of weeks since you sat down in Portugal. It's a long time in football, 2 weeks. How's preparations going during pre-season?
Very good, yeah. I think since then we've had a couple of games. We've obviously built through. I think at the moment it's all about getting players fit, not getting injuries if you can avoid that, and you sort of building a spirit, a mentality. We've had a bit of time to talk as well. You know, the players have spoken around who we are as a team, what we want to improve at, our football, everything. So you get that little bit more time, but the most important thing is we're getting fitter, we're getting stronger, we're not picking up too many injuries, and then you're sort of building towards a season, yeah.
2 years ago when you walked through the door, you were asked what you want a Chris Davies side to be. You said the hardest working team. Why is that characteristic? Why is that so important to you?
I think if you look at all the best teams, they're hardworking. I think it's a symbol of your commitment. I always said to the players, I'm not really one for sort of gimmicks and putting loads of words up and all these different things, because it's got to mean something. But one thing I've always said to them is I want us to be the hardest working team in the world. And I think also that translates to the supporters as well. I think we're all the players and staff are all football fans themselves and would have watched their team and everything growing up. And what you want is to know that those players on the pitch are giving absolutely every ounce they've got for your club, your place, your city, your town, whatever it is a badge. So I've always said that is the absolute start point. It's what I believe in most, and I've never felt we've wavered from that. There's been the odd game where I haven't been happy or whatever, but very few and far between. In 110 games, we've been working hard, and we have to continue.
If you take a typical pre-season block, it's a few days of testing, first few weeks of conditioning and team bonding out on tour somewhere, and then the games start to roll in, the fixtures start to pile up. Has anything stood out for you in the games played so far?
We've seen a team I want to see. I think we're building our connections, the speed of our play, but the principles have been there. We scored a few good goals like there the other night against Burton. It was a quick win of the ball and a quick pass forward, almost like a short counter-attack. So I like that. There's been a few where we've pressed high, won the ball back, we've scored or won a penalty, so pressed to score. The players are tuned in. We're doing a lot of work on set pieces, much more than we did in the first 2 pre-seasons. I've liked how that's been developing as well.
Typically at this stage of pre-season, it's a good chance for young players and academy players to come and join in and be part of the group under your watchful eye and your staff. What's your impression of the lads that have stepped up and joined the group this summer?
It's been great. I mean, their attitude, their sort of behaviours and how they are, I'm always really, really proud of, because I think that's a real good sign. Like, they're very kind of concentrated, they listen, very respectful, that they're trying to soak it all in. So I think they come up with the right attitude to try and learn, and I challenge them to stand up and sort of speak and, try to really grab their opportunity. And they just get a lot of exposure, and they'll all learn from the games. In a young player in a pre-season might be in front of 2,000 people, but that might be the most players I've ever played in front of. And for them, it's a massive game. So yeah, they're working hard. They're working hard, and they get to know the first team players a little bit, and they just grow in confidence. From my point of view, with the young players, the idea is for them to keep improving. The ultimate destination for them is to wear that blue shirt and become a Birmingham City player, a first team player, and that's the goal that they're all working towards. And for me, I love young players. I would love to have a team almost full of academy graduates, because that they're going to really, really give everything for the badge, because they've come through the system. So no, that's been good.
Let's talk goals. You've mentioned a couple of times in your pre-season interviews about scoring more goals on the road. There's a magic number. How do we get there? What's been done on the training ground to help us reach that magic number and to score more goals?
We need to make sure that we're scoring goals in all the ways you score them. So I'd probably split the goals up into 3 really. So one is your kind of like open play goals. So that's your passing moves that maybe finish with a cross and a header into goal, just a classic open play, or you slide someone in. the counter-attack, transition goals where you win the ball back like the other night and you go forward and let's say you score a goal within 3 or 4 passes of winning the ball back and within maybe 6 or 7 seconds. And then set pieces is the third and final way to score goals. Corners, wide free kicks, long throw-ins. So they're the ways we need to improve in them all. If we're going to bridge that gap from where we were, then we're going to need a few more set piece goals, a few more counter-attack goals, and we won't be far away. I think we hit the woodwork more than any other team in the league last season. So we had some fine margins, but I always say, you can't say that's bad luck. You have to put them in the net, but we were very, very close to scoring considerably more goals. Anyone that followed our season closely would have seen that. But we've got our ideas of how we can become more dangerous and then score more goals.
It's a time of the year where everyone's setting goals, objectives. What does success look like for us this year?
I'm ambitious. Obviously, we're an ambitious club. We want to keep driving forward, without putting a sort of a definitive number on it. We know, where we want to get to, absolutely. And what we have to do is just make sure that each day, each week, each season, we have a feeling that we're improving, and as a football club, if you can keep doing that, then you're going to arrive in a really successful position.
Is it a more competitive division when you consider those dropping down from the Premier League, the clutch of teams who missed out in the playoffs, those that we were part of that narrowly didn't quite reach that playoff positions? Is it a tougher league going into this season?
Yeah, I think people, that's what the general narrative is, of course, because of the size of the clubs that have come down. But for me, it's not focusing on anyone else. It's just us. It's what we do here. I think we need to focus on just improving our game, and focusing on very much the process of what we do here. The rest will take care of itself. Whoever we play, you have to play them all. And whoever came down from the Premier League, it was going to be, as always, as I always say, arguably the most competitive league in the world. So that's a challenge we face, but we've got to be excited by that.
We saw you tweak the approach in how we played, probably in the second half of the season, towards the back end of that season. You mentioned about getting the ball forward quicker. Is that something you'd like to take into the new season? What can fans expect stylistically from our side this year?
Yeah, I think what I don't want to come too far away from is that kind of front foot mentality. I think I don't want us to be passive. I don't think that suits when we're at our best. I think we were very good in our press last year. Not many teams got through us. We were very aggressive with that. But there were times, as I've showed the players through this pre-season, where we would regain the ball and maybe the first thought would be goalkeeper, split, work the ball, control the game, switch the play. And what we're trying to work on more, and we did it towards the end of the season, was regain the ball, forward first, make a run in behind, try and be a little bit more direct in those transitions. And it tweaked the style. We weren't ending up as deep, trying to almost beat the opposition's press. We were able to go forward a bit quicker. So the intensity, the pressing, the energy we want, and to try and get the ball forward quicker. And the way it looked towards the end of the season, had a really good feel about it, because I want us to be a team that can have the ball. I don't want us to be a team that has possession and doesn't know what to do with it. So we have to be comfortable that we've got it, we've got a plan, we've got the ability to play, but we need to sense those moments to go forward and more direct towards the opposition's goal. So and that's something that's, I'm encouraged by.
And I suppose when you couple that with the physicality now in the squad, and clearly a conscious effort has been made in January and the summer to add to that, does that make us better equipped then to go, particularly away from home, to those sides who are in your face? It is aggressive. Is that easier for us or better for us to combat those teams with the look of that team?
We identified as the season went on that probably, League One was a big and physical league as well, but the Championship, they've got a bit more power, a bit more speed, and that physicality is critical because the games are so tight. You don't want to lose out in the physical aspect, and you think, how have we not got something from that game? And there was one or two that were like that. So we tried to address that in terms of our recruitment, and that's important, that we keep looking to bring those type of players in that can push us on in that way.
And you've mentioned about the experience, everyone being better for last year. Is that the same for you and your backroom staff as well? You've all gone through highs and lows of a Championship season now. You know what's coming. You know the nature of the beast, as you say. That sounds like we're better equipped going into this year than we were last.
Definitely, yeah. Like I say, it was a new experience for the players. Obviously, I've coached in the Championship before. I know all about it, but I think some of our players are kind of new to England as well. So it's a league like no other, really. So I think, me personally, I always say, if I'm not getting better each season, then I'm obviously doing something wrong, because I always want to keep learning and keep improving. And, you know, that's how I'm going to reach my potential as a football manager. And I expect the same from the staff around me. So there was a lot of lessons learned, both on and off the pitch, which are going to be, you know, really helpful. Relentlessness of the division, the 3-game weeks where you might have 1 at home, 2 away. You know, you've really got to get maximum from those weeks and be ready physically and mentally to attack them. So there was a lot there, but it definitely bodes well for this season.
I think a lot can be said for consistency, and you haven't had the chance really to do that. The first summer you came in, we just dropped into League One, so you recruit for League One. We then have 111 points, promotion to the Championship, you have to turn over again. This is really the first summer you've had where you can retain a core of the group and add little pieces to the puzzle. That's got to help cultivate that togetherness even more. They know what to expect from you, from the division, from the club. Do you think that togetherness will help us going into the new year?
No, most definitely. Like, even little things like, we were working today on, I was showing the guys some clips from the Burton Albion match, and it was just one little action where James Beadle, the touch he took and the pass that he made, and he hadn't trained with us since really pretty much that he's been back, but that was a year of understanding. And I said to him that, you know, you see how far you've come in understanding what I want, the team wants, in the time that you've been with us. So that's the type of continuity that you have. Those relationships and understandings are just a little bit more solid.
And it goes without saying, I suppose, all of the qualities we've spoken about in this interview will be needed when we take on Barcelona as a way to bring down pre-season preparations. How much are you looking forward to that at St Andrews at United Park?
Very much so, yeah. I think it's a special game. It's one of those that's probably more than a friendly, because of the magnitude of the club we're playing against, the fact that we've got them in our home stadium. It's the sort of game that people will remember for a long time. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. Our first chance to be back there. We've got a little, you know, sense of the fans in the last couple of games, but to be back, you know, at St Andrews with them all there will be amazing, as it always is. But to bring a huge club like Barcelona into our stadium is incredible. And, you know, for us on the football side, it's a chance to ultimately get that measuring stick against the very, very best.
We saw again last season incredible support both at St Andrews and on the road. How much are you looking forward to getting back out there in front of them?
Yeah, always. I always say the same. It's been a special place. I don't know the exact number, but we haven't lost maybe 4 home games since I've been here, 2 years. So yeah, and that's all to do with the fans, basically, the atmosphere they create. I know it's horrible for the opposition to come there, and that's why I love it so much, because how partisan they are, how, you know, supportive they are, and yeah, it's a fantastic play. I love it there. I've absolutely loved it there since the very first game, so can't wait to see them. I know they'll be in full voice.
Couple of questions on you personally to finish. I know from our very first time of seeing you in the technical area, you kick every ball and try and impact the game. You've perfected trying to get players' attention. There's mannerisms that come to the fore when you're on the side of the pitch. I can't imagine that will change. I know it's something you tried to work on and tone that down. I can't imagine that's going to go away.
No, it's impossible, I think, for that to go away. I think that's just how I am. It means everything to me. So when I'm there, I'm trying to support the boys, encourage them, organise them, give them everything that I can to make sure that we're successful. So I'm sure I annoy people the way I move and jump around. I'm sure I annoy people who hear my voice all the time, but unfortunately I won't change. So that's how it is.
You speak to any manager, it's great that you've gone through pre-season as a block, but now you want the real stuff to start, surely?
Absolutely, yeah. I think when it's pre-season, you always get that kind of like growing sense of competition as the weeks go by, and then you sort of build. And then even in the last couple of days, I've just sensed there's a feeling there, and it's come in, and then we move forward. We got this game, and then we've got Barcelona, and then all of a sudden you're moving towards Swansea and then the Championship season. So it naturally, that sort of competitive, we're all here as competitors. That's why I always say to the players, that's why you play football when you were younger, because you've got that competitive edge, and you've had the career and become a professional football player. So we all miss that. And it builds, and you can feel it. So the time the whistle blows for the competitive season to start, we'll be ready to go.
Can't wait for it to start. Chris, thank you ever so much for talking to us.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
Thank you.
Thank you.